Have you ever wondered how a five-time world champion like Brazil prepares for the biggest tournament in world football? With the 2026 FIFA World Cup just around the corner, the Seleção are not leaving anything to chance. The Brazilian Football Confederation, better known as the CBF, has already confirmed a packed schedule of international friendlies that will not only sharpen their skills, but also give fans around the globe a taste of the magic this team still carries. In October, Brazil will travel to Asia for a highly anticipated tour, where they will face two of the continent's strongest sides, South Korea and Japan. These matches may look like simple friendlies on paper, but for Brazil, every game now is part of a bigger plan. Fine-tuning their strategy, testing new combinations, and most importantly, building the momentum that could carry them all the way to another World Cup title. Let's break it down. According to the CBF, Brazil will play 6 friendly matches before the World Cup next year. The journey begins this October, with 2 blockbuster clashes in Asia. On October 10th, Brazil will meet South Korea, and just 4 days later, on October 14th, they will face Japan. Both games are already creating huge buzz, not just in Asia, but worldwide, because whenever Brazil step onto the pitch, history, glamour, and excitement follow. Now, if we look back at the history between Brazil and South Korea, the record speaks for itself. The two teams last met in the 2022 Qatar World Cup in a round of 16. It was a night to remember for Brazilian fans as their team put on a breathtaking show, thrashing the Koreans 4-1 in style. Before that, they also played a friendly in Seoul earlier that year, where Brazil dominated with a 5-1 victory. In fact, South Korea have only ever beaten Brazil once in their entire history, way back in 1999 in a friendly match that ended 1-0. Since then, it's been one-way traffic in favor of the Seleção. If we focus just on the last 3 encounters, the story becomes even clearer. In 2019, Brazil swept aside South Korea 3-0 in a friendly. Then in 2022, another friendly saw Brazil cruise to a 5-1 win. And of course, in the 2022 World Cup itself, they delivered a 4-1 masterclass. That's 3 consecutive wins, with a combined score of 12 goals to just 2 conceded. For South Korea, the challenge couldn't be bigger. For Brazil, it's about maintaining dominance while also testing the depth of their squad. After South Korea, the Seleção will turn their focus to Japan on October 14th. This match will kick off at 4:30 p.m. Bangladesh time, and once again, history heavily favors the Brazilians. In fact, Japan have never beaten Brazil in 13 meetings. Out of those, Brazil have won 11, while only 2 matches ended in draws. That's a staggering record that underlines just how tough it has been for Japan to crack the Brazilian code. Let's take a look at the last 4 matches between these two teams. Back in 2006, Brazil crushed Japan 4-1. In 2014, the scoreline was even more brutal, 4-0 in favor of Brazil. Then in 2017, they met again in a friendly where Brazil comfortably won 3-1. And most recently, in 2022, they played another friendly that was much tighter, but still, Brazil edged it 1-0. Once again, it's Brazil with 4 straight wins, showing that even when Japan have improved, Brazil always seem to find a way through. But why is Brazil putting so much importance on these friendlies? The answer lies in the bigger picture. CBF's general coordinator, Juninho Paulista, explained the vision clearly. After the Asian tour in October, the plan is to face an African opponent in November, followed by high-profile clashes against European powerhouses in March and June. This strategy is deliberate. Brazil wants to test themselves against different styles of football, from the tactical discipline of Europe to the physicality of Africa and the fast-paced energy of Asia. By doing so, they believe they will gain the kind of diverse experience that is absolutely crucial for a successful World Cup run. Paulista put it best when he said, "We believe that facing teams with different footballing styles will not only build our experience, but also give us valuable insights into the kind of opponents we will meet at the World Cup." For the players, these games are more than just exhibitions. For younger talents, it's an opportunity to prove they belong in the squad. For established stars, it's about maintaining sharpness and leadership. And for the coaching staff, It's the perfect chance to fine-tune tactics, experiment with lineups, and identify weaknesses before it's too late. Fans, too, have plenty to look forward to. Brazil's style of football has always been about flair, rhythm, and creativity. But in recent years, critics have questioned whether the magic is still alive. These upcoming matches offer the perfect stage to answer those doubts. Against South Korea and Japan, two nations that are disciplined, hardworking, and tactically sound, Brazil will need to prove that their Samba spirit still burns bright. So, mark your calendars. October 10th, Brazil versus South Korea, kicking off at 5 p.m. Bangladesh time. October 14th, Brazil versus Japan at 4:30 p.m. Bangladesh time. These are not just friendlies. They are part of Brazil's roadmap to glory. As we count down to these matches, one thing is certain. Whenever Brazil play, the world watches. And with the World Cup getting closer, every minute on the pitch counts. Will Brazil continue their dominance over their Asian rivals? Will we see new heroes rise in the famous yellow shirt? Or will South Korea or Japan finally pull off a shock upset? Stay tuned, because the journey toward the World Cup has already begun, and Brazil is ready to show the world that they are still the team to beat.